I want to get to messaging in a little bit, but let's back up to June 2015. Donald Trump comes down the escalator at Trump Tower, announces that he's going to run for president. It seemed back in the primaries that many people in your campaign, Robbie, wanted Donald Trump to be the nominee, that you thought he would be easier to beat than, say, Marco Rubio. Is that true, and why?
I think many Democrats did believe that. I think obviously our opinions on that changed as he progressed through the primary and was very successful by any standard in that primary.
And Kellyanne, you've been very critical of the polls, so let me give you an opportunity to weigh in on a rare moment of agreement here. Why were the polls so wrong?
I'm critical of the polls just because I own a place called the Polling Company, and I never want to practice law again, so I can't be that critical of the polls. But the polls are wrong for a couple of reasons. And when I say the polls, let's be very clear, these are mostly the public polls. So I think Joel Benenson's work, the internal polls, our polling work, we had 5 different polling firms working on, including my firm. Those don't really see the light of day. We're using those for internal strategic positioning. We're not trying to get clicks or make headlines or call the race over before it is one way or the other. I think a few things happened. One is presuming that the 2012 electorate would be the 2016 electorate. And that also presumed implicitly, Jake, that Secretary Clinton would be able to attract and knit together and indeed keep together what's called the Obama coalition. So a critical mass of voters of color, of millennials, and maybe even her running up the totals a little bit among women, since she's the first female candidate, and she was running a decidedly reach out to women as an anti-Trump message campaign to the very end. So I think that was a failing. The other failing is in presuming that people who had voted Democratic in the past would do so here, which is slightly different than the Obama coalition. We thought in our modeling that the 2016 electorate had a better chance of loosely resembling the 2014 electorate in some of these key states and counties, which was my obsession, the counties, than it would resemble the 2012 election. And so I talked very publicly, very early on, under a hail of criticism about the undercover Trump voter. And it was very real. And the undercover Trump voter, to put it all to rest, this is not somebody who's afraid to say they're voting for Donald Trump. That's not what it is. It's somebody who just doesn't look like a Trump voter. It's a union household that's voted Democratic for years. It's a single mom who couldn't possibly dream of voting for Donald Trump. Why would she do that when she can vote for Hillary Clinton, who's, quote, fighting for women and children? And so we just took an approach where we were a little bit more open-minded about who the electorate may be and allowed them to tell us who they were.
Look, turnout wasn't what we wanted it to be in some places. And there were different stories across different states. You know, Philadelphia did turn out the way we would have liked. Other states weren't. But one thing I think we did see across the country, I think Kellyanne would agree with this, was we did see record Hispanic turnout in a number of communities. I think that was important to our win in Nevada and Colorado. And that's why Texas, I think, was a lot closer than many people anticipated. Obviously, that wasn't enough for us to win the election. But I think that is something to be celebrated and lifted up. That was unprecedented. And I hope that those voters continue to turn out.